Hey guys, this is Mr. H. Hey, I am going to do a series of videos showing you how to use the quadratic formula, whether it's a rational root, whether it's an irrational root that you can simplify or irrational root that you can't simplify, whether it's an irrational root that they ask you to round to a certain number of digits. I'm going to do a series of videos showing you how to use the quadratic formula. The other thing that I want you guys to pay attention to is that for each one of those, in each one of those videos, there's going to be the first part of the video is going to be the same no matter what. We're gonna set it equal to 0 if it's not. We're going to find the a, b, and c, and then we're going to look at the b squared minus 4ac part to determine what we need to do next, whether it's rational, irrational, perfect square, whatever. So the first part is going to be the same. So I'm going to do this question and then I'm going to post it. All right, so first thing we see here is we have a quadratic equation, 10n squared plus 21n plus 9 equals 0. So it's already equal to 0, so now we can find the a, b, and c. So I'm going to jump to my iPad and I'm going to get going on this. All right, so very first thing, you see we have the equation here. It's equal to 0. You always have to check that. And now that it's equal to 0, we're going to find the a, b, and c. The a is always going to be the leading coefficient. So in this case, it's 10. The b is the second term. So that's going to be the coefficient of the second term, which is 21. And the c is always constant. Remember, c is for constant. All right. Now, once we have these values, and by the way, you never put letters in here. Never. It's only numbers. Same thing with our formula. It's only numbers. Now, we're going to replace the b's with the number 21. So we put it in those two places. Notice that it's inside of parentheses. And then we're going to do the same thing for the a. We're going to do the come on, where's my pen? We're going to do A and A. So we're going to put 10 here and we're going to put 10 here. And then the last bubble gets the C value, which is 9. Now, once we have that, we're going to let the calculator help us figure out what we do next. So first thing we're going to do, and actually let me go back and make sure this is clear. We're going to store 10 into the letter A, 21 into the letter B, and then 9 into the letter C. And then we're going to go look at the B squared minus 4AC. So here we go. So the way you store is you always start with the number. In this case, we're going to do 10, and we're going to do control and then the variable key. You should see this arrow, and we're going to store it into the letter A. And then we're going to store 21 into the letter B. And then we're going to store 9 into the letter C for constant. Press that. Once we've got that, we're going to do the b squared minus 4ac part. So here we go. Pay attention to this because you got to be careful. B squared minus 4a. Now you have to put a multiplication between the a and the c, otherwise the calculator gets confused. So once you've got that, you press enter, and now you've got this number here, and you should be asking yourself, is this a perfect square or if it's not? In this case, if you know your perfect squares, you know that this is a perfect square. But if you don't know your perfect square, that's okay. You can use menu 23. We call this the LeBron method. And all you do from here, press enter, and you can see that the exponent is even. Remember, if all of the exponents are even, then you have a perfect square. If any of the exponents are not even, that means it's not a perfect square, which means when you take the square root, you're going to get an irrational number. So in this case, we have 3 to the 4th. It's a even exponent, so this is a perfect square. Now, so we would go here. Let me just show you what you would do. You would put 81 here. You would do 3 to the 4th power. And you should say, oh, that's even. So it's a perfect square. And that means when we take the square root, we're going to have some rational roots. That's what you should get. As soon as you see that the exponents are even, you know it's going to be rational roots. Now from here, all we're going to do is we're going to let the calculator finish it up. So we're going to use the quadratic formula. We're just going to type it in, a negative b plus the square root of, now remember this, we've already entered the b squared minus 4ac. That's how we knew it was a perfect square. You don't have to key that in again. Just go up and copy it, and it'll place it where it needs to go here. And then in the denominator, we just have 2a to finish off the formula. From here, you press enter, and it tells you that one of your roots, one of your rational roots is going to be a -3/5. So we can go back to the iPad, my iPad, and one of our roots is a -3/5. We know we have another rational root coming up, so let's go find that. And the way that we do that is easily. We just copy the quadratic formula again, but in this case, we're going to change the plus to a minus. And then we press enter, boom, and it says the other root is a -3/2. So we go back and we say the second root, the second rational root is a -3/2. Now that's what you're doing. Use this graphical organizer to help you order everything and know what steps you need to do. I'm going to run through this one more time. Make sure it's equal to 0. You cannot find the a, b, or c if the quadratic equation is not equal to 0. Next thing, find your a, your b, your c, and you're going to plug it into the formula in the appropriate places. Once you've done that, you're going to take the calculator, you're going to store all of these values, 10 into a, 21 into b, and 9 into c, and then you're going to do, let's go out, you're going to do the b squared minus 4ac part, because that's going to tell you if the roots are going to be rational, irrational. It's going to tell you the number of roots, okay? And so, and if you're not sure if this is a perfect square or not, just use menu 23, and if all of the exponents are even, that means it's a perfect square, which means it's going to have rational roots. If any of the exponents are odd, that means you're going to have irrational roots, okay? And then in this case, we had a perfect square, which means we have rational roots. So all you have to do is literally key in the quadratic formula, and it'll calculate the roots, and then you copy it and change it to the minus to find the other roots. There's going to be 2, and basically that's it. So I guess we just have to finish this up by entering the actual answers, make sure everything is good. So that's a -3/5. That was one of the roots. And then we had another one. It was a -3/2. And then let's submit and see what we get here. It says nice job. All right. So that's what you guys should be doing. Now, if you have any questions, please either leave a comment or come see me. We have to be able to use the quadratic formula. These are the steps that we're going to be going through. All right, so I'm going to stop and post. This was a little longer than I wanted, but I hope it's been helpful.